Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase here with a rapid altcoin video. We're going to get through all of them pretty quick, probably spend 30 seconds to a minute on each chart. We'll cover Syscoin, Luna, FTM, Seoul, Avax, Near, Atom. This video is sponsored by Syscoin. With that said, as usual, I would never, chart inaccurately, okay? So nothing to fear. All my charting is unbiased, and they know that. Okay, so getting right into it. Before we talk about the alt specifically, what I should say is keep in mind that Bitcoin, Ethereum, even the S&P, because Bitcoin's been trading close to the S&P, everything's been in a somewhat downtrend. And while there could be, a relief bounce at some point or whatever, I do want you to understand that all these alt levels that I'm going to show you are highly dependent on, say Bitcoin and whatnot. So I'll give you a quick example. Show you something that would make sense here. If Bitcoin happens to run all these lows, okay, and obviously, alts will get decimated, but I'm just using this for an example. Pretend Bitcoin runs all these lows and reclaims, and it's like sitting like right around here on the level, okay, and you say have something like Luna, okay. And Luna, at that point, is all the way down here in the blue. Now, I know it would probably be lower if BTC goes that low, but let's say it's down in the blue, and Bitcoin's here. Then that means that the blue box for Luna is probably a good buy, okay? Now, let's take a different example. If Bitcoin is, let's say, here, right in sort of the middle of this area between liquidity and between this support that we've been bouncing off of. If it's in the middle here and Luna's in the blue box, well, now it's becoming a much more riskier trade, because if Bitcoin continues to go down, this support will not hold, okay? It's as simple as that. So make sure that you're looking at the overall context of Bitcoin when you're deciding about your alt trades. And if you're really having a difficult time figuring out, whether the trend is reversing or not, you could use something like simple, 12, 26 daily moving averages or something. I know I don't hardly ever use moving averages in my videos, but I thought this would be a good chance to show you guys sort of a trend thing. Okay, one second. So we'll use Sys as, an initial example here. And we'll put on the 12 and 26 moving averages on the daily. Okay, these are set to the daily regardless of what time frame I'm on. So what I'm thinking is that blue box, we had resistance here, flip to support, right? So resistance, support, resistance, and then support right here all the way through, and this long consolidation where we built to move upwards. Okay, so I'm thinking that this level should hold as support again. Most likely get, maybe a sweep of this or something, and that would be a possible long opportunity. Now, again, you have to keep Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc. in mind. So if you're a little bit on the edge about something like that, you can watch these moving averages, right? And let's draw. Let's see, this is my, the purple is the 12, okay? So let's say the 12 is moving down and the 12 is hugging tight to the candles, okay? We'll draw that in purple. The 12 is hugging tight, and the red is staying a bit wider, okay, as it goes down. And then you get a reversal sign on your faster moving average, your 12. This is a bit tough switching the colors over and over again. And then you have your 26, okay, and you get that cross. You get that cross out of support, right? And then you're going to look and you're going to say, okay, where was the major level of support? It looked like it was somewhere around here, because you're not going to get the best entry anymore, right? No longer are you going to get, if we sweep this or something, you're not going to have the ability to play that sweep anymore, because, the market has already grown keen to that there's some type of reversal taking place. So what you'd most likely get is you'd have candles in here, you'd have, oh man, why does this keep going to red? You'd have candles in here, and you'd start to recover, and your retest would probably something like that, okay? And that's probably your buy area. So again, perhaps that was a little complicated, but hopefully that explains, using a moving average into a support level in order to, not just quote unquote gamble on the level. But of course, when it comes to trades, nothing is a guarantee. So sometimes you do just have to say, okay, I get in, and my risk is my risk, and you just play the level. But if you are looking for a bit more confirmation, and I'm specifically talking about this because of Bitcoin being in a downtrend and whatnot, so longing has become a bit more risky. If you're looking for something like that, that's how you could spot a bit of a trend switch. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. Now on to Luna. So looking at Luna, and let's get rid of all these moving averages. Looking at Luna, I think it's pretty obvious. You have resistance, support, 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 and it keeps on testing this support. What I'm eventually looking for is a breakdown into this blue level. I think blue level is probably a good buy. I'll be watching this area in blue. Okay, FTM. FTM, you had a sort of a downtrend consolidation right here. And when you broke out from the downtrend, you went pretty steep right away. Okay, so it's you have to decide, is it this level? Is it this level? I'm personally looking for a level that had a good amount of sort of volume traded, right? And I think that's sort of around here. You can see resistance here, you can see resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and ultimately it flips to support right here. So I'm eyeing around the 1.57, 1.6 level on FTM. Okay, and as far as shorts go and whatnot, I suppose I can cover that next time. But like a lot of these coins, they just have obvious levels of breakdown. Like look, previous resistance, flip to support, 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 support. If Avax comes back up towards 76, this is where I'd be eyeing for a short. Also, keep an eye out at like a level like right in here. Okay, that's another area. So basically, right anywhere inside of this area right here is probably your short zone. But let's go back to where we were. And that pretty much goes for all these coins, right? Now, we haven't seen a bear market rally really yet. Like we sort of saw them a lot in 2018. We broke down and then we had a bear market rally. We broke back down, bear market rally. It was sort of like the bouncing ball, where the bounces got weaker and weaker and weaker. And we've yet to have any bear market rally. So I think that any type of a retest on any of these major levels is probably going to be a good short where there were previous buyers. But we're so far away from that at the moment that it's not really a concern of mine. Okay, moving back into Seoul here, we can see that we've been nearing this support level. Seoul's got some, shitty sort of narrative going for it. I don't really pay too much attention to it, honestly. But at the end of the day, if Seoul wants to get real nasty, once again, you could watch for like trend reversal based off the blue box. Maybe we chop for a bit. Or if it's something quick happens, it's probably like a liquidity sweep into like this old high right here, and that'll be a reclaim, and then you could play off this. So you could play off this, you could play off this. There's a lot you could play off of, right? Oftentimes when you have a level where you're like, okay, this level should hold. If it doesn't hold, what typically happens is that you get a retest on that level. Boom, like that, okay? So don't necessarily say, oh, my level was wrong, my level was wrong. Sometimes it's just that, the market brings in liquidations, the market brings in panic, and your level will be respected a little bit later on, and you can get your re-entry off of that. Okay, I could probably show you a decent example in stocks that I played recently. Microsoft, 200 moving average here, right? And you're on the lower time frame. Disrespected the 200 moving average, right? Just plows right through it. And this is the 200 moving average daily, okay? Regardless of what time frame I change to, it's still the daily. Disrespects it, right? But once it reclaims it in a major way, look at that perfect tap of it, and you get an instant bounce. It's a good short-term option play, okay? Back to where we were. So my point being is sometimes levels will be pierced, but there's usually a good retest, and you saw that off the Microsoft trade. Okay, moving into Avax. Take a sip of water. Okay, Avax, let's just quickly explain the levels. We have resistance, we have resistance. When we break out of resistance, this is sort of forming our new range here. we put in a high, and we put in a low. Okay, simple as that. We break out, we retest the support, we put in a high, we put in a low. And this has been basically your range all along. So 76 is sort of your short area, and 52 is your long area. But what I'd be expecting for Avax is looks like we're going to get something like this. Probably sweep all of these lows, right? You got a low here, you got a low here, you got a low here. And if Bitcoin breaks down, ETH breaks down, you get a sweep into here. This is probably a good area to look for some buys. And that's what I'll be doing, playing it all the way back up towards the other side of the range, right around 76, where we start looking for shorts. Okay, moving on to NEAR. NEAR did not show the strength that I expected it to. Nothing really happened. I mean, I played a decent bounce off of it, and then I got out pretty shortly later. But yeah, it's not as strong as people expected, I presume. It's coming down to the blue box. It could be an area of interest, but really I would have expected it to just simply hold, this weekly level one way or another. You had resistance here, flip to support, and break right down through. Even if you went off the closes, it tried to close, it tried to hold, and now it's breaking back down. So not really very interested in NEAR. I think there's better plays out there. Let's leave it at that. Okay, Atom. Atom looks decent in terms of, it was a good narrative this year in the beginning, and it had a decent pump, and now it's coming all the way back down towards, a potential entry price. What I'd be eyeing blue box or sweep of blue box. Again, sort of depends on overall market, and then you'll be playing it back towards 33, the old resistance, support, breakdown, you play the bounce, boom, straight to 33. Okay, and that is your rapid fire altcoin review. Remember that all these levels are heavily based around how the overall markets move. And that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Syscoin for partnering and sponsoring the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.